orders all flags to fly at half-staff until sunset September 14th as we take a live look at the U.S. Capitol. Sadness and outrage is sparked after a well-known conservative political activist and Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk was killed when he was shot in the neck at an event in Utah. Utah's governor called Kirk's killing a political assassination. An area Turning Point USA member tells WIFR reporter Alyssa Kelly someone took a human life over political differences. Alyssa?
Yeah, Daniel, I spoke with Jaden Gallagly, who worked alongside Charlie Kirk. He says an individual took an evil act today and justice needs to be served.
To take somebody's life over just a simple disagreement or even ideology, no matter what topic it is it's horrendous.
A student member of Turning Point USA, Jaden Gallagly, says he feels devastated and heartbroken following the news of political activist Charlie Kirk.
I really took him seriously. I knew him personally, especially in Illinois, that had such a broad influence on me and shared similar ideology. It's just hard to imagine at this point.
Kirk, an Arlington Heights, Illinois native, is the CEO and co-founder of the conservative youth organization Turning Point USA. Gallagly says he was vital in building support for Republicans among young people. He goes on to say he wants to see peaceful political conversations from all sides.
We shouldn't fear for our life because somebody might disagree with us. Be disagreeable and use our voice. Use conversation style to debate each other, not attack people.
Gallagly says he hopes an investigation shows how security can improve to avoid future shootings. Former FBI agent Jim Sasha says the agency is constantly reevaluating to help stop the violence.
The FBI and all law enforcement is constantly training its personnel. And in the FBI, it's FBI special agents to be aware of people. Though I'm not aware of currently what the FBI is doing to step up its game, I know they are doing it.
New tonight, FBI Director Kash Patel says the suspect they had detained earlier in connection to the shooting death of Charlie Kirk has been released following interrogation.
Alyssa, thank you. Governor J.B. Pritzker calls the attack on Charlie Kirk, a native of Arlington Heights in Illinois, horrifying. He went on to say political violence has no place in this country and should never become the norm.